welcome back to episode number 9 of the Melbourne Strength Culture Podcast, the number 39 health and fitness podcast in Australia. Boy, there's. We slipped a little bit. Manshake Man took a pot shot on us on Instagram.
Respect.
And I got to respect that, man. You got to call us out. If we're talking shit, call us out.
Yeah, dare ya.
Yeah.
Who called this out?
The Manshake.
Manshake guy.
I'm pretty
The guy.
happy with the top 50 still.
I'm happy that we're maintaining it for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, because I was expecting with like the balls to the wall ratings, like everyone just like hard rate because we started slamming on Insta stories. I expected it to go up and then just drop off. But we're holding. I'm sorry, boys. I wasn't manifesting hard enough.
Yeah, no. Well, the
apologise.
initial manifestation was a top 50, and I think if we can hold this for a month, I think we can call ourselves a top 50 podcast.
So most importantly, thank you to all of our listeners for the support.
Yeah, thank you. And definitely, if you are new here, 5 stars on Spotify helps us a hell of a lot. We are also in the top 50 charts on Apple, but we won't talk about that, boys.
Yeah.
We're all about, we don't like Big Apple. We just like medium-sized Spotify.
I've said what I've had to say. I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much for the support so far for both YouTube and obviously the audio. It's flying. It's actually flying so well that our nut shots and the calls out from the audience to put Didier and Charlie's nuts away has been answered by Manscaped. If the nuts are going to be out, they may as well be shiny, spritzy.
I don't think my nuts were ever
Well
out.
manicured.
Charlie, you got the most nut shot fucking call outs out of
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, you did.
You got to pay
Always.
more attention on social media, man.
I don't. You know, I don't care for social media. Never will. Never have.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't-
you're never going to make it to the top if you want to be the best.
Yeah.
I don't read comments. This once it gets recorded and goes up, that's it. It's in the world of clout. They can do what they
Charlie,
want with it.
It's a clout world and we're living in it.
Charlie's not.
Champions don't spend time in the comments.
But yeah, we got sponsored by Manscaped. We've got a 1-month trial with them to see how the relationship works, to see whether or not our audience is receptive. I think the fact that we have a 92% male audience between the age of 18 and 30 gives us a pretty good chance that Manscaped might be a good direction or a good link with our brand. But yeah, we're on board with Manscaped for the next month. You can use the code CULTURE at checkout for 20% off. It is live currently, and it will be live until the end of Feb. So if you're interested in any of the products, I know you were spritzing your nuts the other day. What was going on there, Dids?
Today I have chucked on the t-shirt, the anti-chafe underwear, and I also gave my nuts a bit of a spritz. So I'm feeling very, very fresh downstairs. It's a great feeling after a sweaty session. Just a bit of a check-in.
Wait, so for those who don't know where the nut spritz is coming from, there's actually a product.
Yeah, so they've got the post-shave, like, what's it called, Charlie? Deodorant, but then
Ball
the spritz
deodorant.
is like a on-the-go one. Like, you don't have to, it's not like after the shower. It's just like a little bit of cologne on the go. If you need a little, just a
Little spritzer.
keep everything smelling nice and feeling great. That's what it's for.
God.
An Aperol spritz.
The chafe jocks are mad.
Yeah, I'm wearing those. They're great.
I want to. Jamie's.
I said I'm going to buy you a pair.
buy me a present.
Yeah, I'm going to buy you a pair, Charles. Support those nuts a little bit more.
Amazing. I haven't used any of the products yet, but it seems like we've got 5-star
Yeah.
reviews so
Well,
far.
they've asked for completely honest review within the first month. So that's what we're going to give you. Every week we're going to check back in.
Yeah.
The kit we
I'm still
got-
skeptical.
Why?
I'm still skeptical just by way of I've taken a clip of my nuts before. Sorry, and it I almost tore it.
It's not
So,
fun. And it's got
yeah.
a very steady blood supply and can just constantly bleed.
I think the trick, the trick
won't
that's
go
worked
into
for
that.
me in the past is you got to stretch it out.
All right, we're moving on.
And cut.
Welcome. Welcome Manscaped to the team. Welcome to the culture. Again, code culture at checkout for 20% off. If anybody has ever listened to Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz,
Best podcast in the world, other than ours.
it's one of my favorite top comedy podcasts without a doubt. And the way in which they do ad reads is so funny. They talk about this Blue Chew product, which is like chewable Viagra. And he literally stares the camera down. He's like, your girlfriend called. You're sucking it in the bed.
And they're just shoehorned in, just out of nowhere. They're like, all right, dudes, we've got to get your dicks hard.
So, expect some of that from us with Manscaped. But thank you very much to Manscaped. And again, thank you very much to the community culture. Check out 20% off. Moving on, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a Q&A, just a full open Q&A with, we went through Instagram. Luckily, the Instagram gods, the clout gods has favored us with higher engagements in the last month. So we got heaps of good questions. So we're going to do that. But before we get to there, I just want to do one of our culture member recaps. Who's doing cool shit in the community of Melbourne strength culture currently. I will tip it off with Jason Stupas, Hustler Coaching, is getting jacked, tanned, and shredded at the moment.
Fucking no.
Came off a few weeks down in Rye with some of his friends and family, and he's looking thick and juicy. And you should literally just look at the most recent photo of him on Instagram. His arm popping. Looks crazy. Didier, who you got?
Shout out Mr. Vincan. Yesterday squatted 255 kilos.
Is he doing a GPC event?
He's doing a GPC comp February 19th. So that's his biggest squat so far. Looking to touch into the low 700s for his total. So very exciting first comp.
Very nice. Charles?
I'll give it to Jaden Redman. 20 kilos drop in body weight.
Fuck yeah.
And getting stronger as well. So I know he came.
What's been the strategy to lose 20 kilos? How have you done it?
Calorie deficit. But yeah, no, obviously the energy deficit. We've got him walking more because he was probably a chronic underwalker at the start. So building that habit, teaching him how to track. Actually, it's one of those assumed things that people just know how to track, and I feel like it's become so innate for me, especially that it's just very easy and something that you forget that people sometimes don't. Those little basic things like we spoke about with Anabolic Gabe that time, like slathering oil all over your food is probably not the best. So anyway, just working on stuff like that. Little habits. His step count, obviously getting him to train harder, all the basic markers to help improve body comp.
I think probably the big thing there, nothing drastic.
No, it's put him in get him tracking, put him in a deficit. He's pretty adherent with his tracking, which is awesome. Get him walking more, get him training harder. That's
love it.
Yeah, basic.
Well done, Jaden. Keep it going, son.
I'm going to go Cambosis Brown. He was leading into a comp and he's just flying with training. It was like the pre-peak block and he's just nailing training, hitting sub-max PRs, flying. And it's unreal to see because we've had him, it's probably of course he had a long sort of time training on his own without a coach and had an unbelievable base. He was one of the Bentley Fitness Center OGs that I would see their kid in the school uniform. And you see some of the old guys that have been training for 20 years that don't look like they train. Would just be like, the kid's on the gas. I'm like, man, the kid's 16. He's coming in his school uniform. He's just a monster. Anyway, the way that the stars have aligned is obviously training here now. And has been in the surplus for a touch over 2 years.
He had a bodyweight PB, he said.
Yeah. And he's, been in a surplus for a touch over 2 years, maybe been in a deficit for about 12 weeks of those 2 years. And he's looking stacked, jacked, and his weights are flying. So I think he's going to do some real big things this year, especially with the way that he dedicates himself and attacks training.
He's an athlete.
Animal.
Thank you very much to all those guys that gave us questions on Instagram. Today, as we said, is just going to be a Q&A session. First one, thoughts on the original Jack 3D formula and your memories. What are some of your memories of Jack 3D? Do we have to, because I think we do have a lot of younger viewers. Jack 3D, when do you reckon it was around?
10 years ago.
2009.
You've got a younger podcast.
I reckon.
Host or whatever you call me.
Did you ever have Jack 3D?
Never had Jack 3D.
Well, there you go.
I think it was around
Explain
2009. That was when DMAA started popping.
Yeah, I was in grade 6.
Yeah.
Speed.
Did you? Yeah, it was pretty much. Has
it
anyone had it?
It was like the
Yeah.
same.
You had
Yeah.
it? I did that and Mesomorph. I was in year 9. I think that was the introduction to
Wasn't the chemical compound like the same? It was.
I think
So
people used to
close to
cut
speed.
speed with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was some of the stuff that they used to,
I never had it.
allegedly, Googling that. It said DMAA, people were putting it in pingers and speed, and this is the way to cut it. I don't know. Anyway, but we were 15 and 16 buying pre-workout because that was, it would give us that little burst, that little, we're on the 903 school bus, Warrigal Road, on the way to Star Fitness, and you just have it. And literally, I remember training once. You're flying for about half an hour, and I swear to God, I got mega depressed halfway through one session. train like an animal, do that. And then my other experience was a school athletics carnival, mesomorph, DMAA, ran the fastest I ever ran.
What event were you in?
I was in the 100. I still came like sixth.
But boy,
But it was the fastest I ever ran. Yeah.
and that's all that matters, you know. It's all about yourself, competing against yourself. No, I definitely used to have it. I actually won a bottle of it through. So AAA Sups put on this thing on Facebook once, and they said if anyone can find the origin of this photo, and it was like that Indian guy with like the swollen muscles, like someone's
Synthol.
someone's injected him with synthol. They're like, we need to find where this photo comes from. And there's a function on Google where you can just reverse search an image. You upload the image and it tells you all the places. And I found the original side of it, and I sent it to the AAA guys. And like, oh yeah, no worries, come pick up your bottle of Jack 3D. I would have been like, 17. I remember I couldn't drive. So yeah, it would have been 2009. Yeah. Maybe early 2010. And
Kids shouldn't have been touching that shit.
yeah,
Should not have been touching
same thing, man. Like you'd just be on this roller coaster and then you'd just crash afterwards. Absolutely crash. I must admit, I don't take any pre-workouts. Probably because I don't really do workouts, but I haven't touched pre-workouts probably since that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some funny pre-workout stories from like recent times. Like the ones I get now, I just have sporadically. Like in the last 4-week block that I've had, I've used it once.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't, like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Staying up late and just feeling wrecked from it, it's just not worth it, even after having it at midday. So I just get the bulk nutrients one now. It's cheap. It's just caffeine and
some pump.
the simple stuff. Anyway, that was like last year or the year before. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go get one because sometimes they're a bit of fun. Like you just get it and whatever else. I went to a supplement store, and the salesman, and everyone's got experiences with supplement salesmen. I go in there. I'm like, hey man, it's like, what do you want? It's like, I'm just like a pre-workout, and he goes, oh, tested, untested. I'm like, I'm untested. It's like, all right, we've got the import ones. I'm like, I'm untested because I don't compete in anything, and this was ages ago. So before you fucking think I'm an unnatty athlete, take it the fuck easy. It's a pre-workout. So it was ages ago, and it's like untested. I'm like, yeah, give me the imported shit.
And what'd you get?
Anyway, no, it's not about what I got. It's about the way he was selling it to me.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, so this one here is when like you want to get into the gym and you want to get a bit euphoric and like you're going to go there. And it's like this one here is better for aggression. So if you want to go in and you hit a PR, it's like that's the one you take. This one here is a bit more mellow, but you don't crash as hard, but it's still mad. I'm like,
Crazy, man.
it's like, I just want pre-workout. It tastes like real pre-workout.
That's what milk that tastes like real milk. Yeah.
You gave me a pre-workout at the old gym just before we went back into a lockdown, I remember, and I took it and I didn't like it. I felt like...
Yeah.
So the pre-workouts that I use are just like caffeine and stuff, which are fine. It's just like having a Monster. That one made me feel like edgy, anxious. That was that pre-workout.
Yeah. So I spoke to the guy because I felt horrible from that as well. I didn't use it. I had one scoop. I'm like, this is shit house.
It was called something. What was it?
That was the new Pep one.
Yeah, but what was it called? Had a name.
Mind the Blitz or some shit like that. They've all got the worst names. So one of the kids here is telling me, speaking of names, it was one that's called Pablo Powder. That's a new one. And he's 15. His mum goes to me when I met the mum. She's like, oh, this is Will Frawley, by the way. Sorry to throw you under the bus, buds.
Shout out,
he's like, I remember he was talking to me about the pre-workout, and she's like, so what do you think of these supplements he's taking? And I'm like, look, the whey is probably fine, but like, yeah, but she's like, it's not that I'm worried about. It's the pre-workouts. And Will's standing behind his mum. He's like, shut up. And I'm like, what are the names of the ones you got? And she's like, they're called like Psychotic and Pablo Powder. I was like, this is ridiculous. She goes, why couldn't they be called Just Get a Little Bit Better? And Will the whole time is in the background like, shut your mouth.
It's so true though. They literally look like asylum seeker names. They're like not asylum seekers, mental asylum. Is that what it's called?
That's the one.
What's an asylum seeker? I'm just going to
mental asylum seeker is someone who's seeking asylum.
No, mental asylum. Mental asylums. It's like somebody
like when you take the pre-workout, you got to seek asylum elsewhere because you just lost it.
You just lost it. Your brain's in
the
a
gym's a battlefield.
I can't believe you just called a pre-workout asylum seeker.
No. I'll leave it in. I won't cut it out. That was just a slip of my tongue.
Whoopsies. Special, man.
All right, well, moving on. That was a good opening question. Thank you very much for sending that in. The next one, if you're doing the longer form because you think it helps you connect, blah blah blah. What are you boys' hobbies and stuff outside of the gym? Goals outside of just the gym in terms of life. Some hobbies and goals outside of that. I'll start. I recently picked up golf actually. And I bought a new set of clubs. I went and got fitted, bought a new set of clubs. I want to take it seriously. I actually really do enjoy it. We played a little bit a couple of years ago. And I bought a new set and I went straight to the driving range. I was all excited. And I hit 3 7-iron shots and snapped the head off the fucking club. And it went flying down the driveway, flying down the drive. And then I played on the weekend and I had the fucking worst game ever. But I still enjoyed myself. And I'm looking forward to playing a bit more. So that's one hobby that I have currently that's growing outside of the gym. What are you boys up to?
Well, probably if you listen to Quantum Lifting back in the day, that you would know I picked up guitar 2.5 years ago. So I still play that virtually every day. I pick it up in some way, shape, or form, whether I'm learning something new or just playing it. I pick it up, play it in some way, shape, or form. My goals with that are I want to buy a loop pedal and then loop chord progressions and then play lead guitar over the top. So that's one of my goals there. And I've also been practicing singing with the guitar because I feel like understanding it wasn't until I started even trying to and obviously I'm not saying I'm a good singer or anything, but it's just learning to sing over the top and playing in time with the guitar. It's a skill, yeah. It's a skill and it's quite difficult. And it's made me just appreciate those guys like Ed Sheeran and stuff way more because they're just absolute freaks at it.
Animals.
And like Ed Sheeran can literally grab a guitar and he's like a whole band with singing it. So that, and then one thing that I've want to get back into, and I'm in the process of it because I got the roof racks put on my car, was going back on the surfboard.
Outdoorsman.
I wouldn't say I'm an outdoorsman.
I reckon you are, mate.
Mr. Water Sport.
Nah,
that's
Hattie Suki's the water sport.
Mr. Water Sport.
But yeah, I want to get. So I got the roof racks put on the car. I do want to start getting back into surfing.
How are you going to go surfing at 108 kilos and literally like 12% body fat?
I'll be right.
At 12%.
A rock.
Bit generous.
15?
15. 26.
15. I'll be fine.
You're going to be a rock out there, man.
Yeah, we'll be right.
You might have to use a life vest. Get some floaties on your arms. They wouldn't fit your arms either.
You got the wetsuits buoyant anyway, and then you got the surfboard. If I get a bit tired, just grab onto it. Have a breather.
Those freshly shaved nuts will float you out. That's it. Gliding
through the water. So a few of my hobbies have been put on pause for a bit. Guitar, piano, and a bit of...
How's the rehab going?
Yeah, so I actually had a telehealth appointment today. We've upped our frequency. So I was doing them every 2 hours, my exercises that I've been given. The lady said, let's go to 1 hour. Every 1 hour. If you can do every half an hour, do every half an hour. She's like, the pinky needs to get moving more, so we just got to up the frequency. Just to get the moving back. Because right now, it's just not doing a whole lot of moving. But yeah, so usually I like to... bit of guitar, bit of piano... bit of basketball, bit of logboarding, but unfortunately at the moment, all those are a bit on pause, but keen to get back into them soon. In terms of goals, I really don't set goals with them. I just like to do them, like even with guitar. Like I know Charlie's a bit more structured with it, and
I wouldn't say
you're more structured than me, yeah.
Well, probably more than you, but I also don't really like to. I don't let it become something that I put pressure on myself because I'm like, it is a hobby that's meant to be fun.
For sure. Like I have periods when I try and be a bit more. I push with it, but generally how I like to approach it is I play guitar, I play piano. If I get better, I get better. If I just kick it, I kick it. I don't like to, because obviously with training and work, everything's like really like structured and, okay, let's optimize this and get this better. Whereas with guitar, I'm like, we'll just have some fun. If I learn a song, if I play songs I've always known, I don't care. It's just like downtime. So
you never take pre-workout before you
play I need to take some psychotic and then I'll be shredding on
guitar. That was one of the ones.
What I do with the guitar, and I found it works really well for me, is like I'll just wake up in the morning. Like when I taught myself the Can't Stop by the Chili Peppers, I literally woke up in the morning and said, today I'm teaching myself that. You were playing Alice in Chains before?
Yeah.
So I'm literally going to be like, tomorrow I'm going to learn an Alice in Chains song. And that's how I kind of do it, just for fun. It's fun. It's not like structure, and then I'm just like, whatever. And then just it becomes fun like that because it's whatever I feel like.
That's it.
But at the same time, I feel like any playing and anything new is good.
Play.
Sure.
Pretty much play guitar.
And that's it. It's like the concept of play. That's how I approach it. I just sometimes you'd understand this too. I pick it up and literally I start playing. You play one chord and then naturally that leads you into a song. There's no structure. You just have a go and then wherever the guitar takes you, you go. Like
that's it.
You just do it.
Just play like a child.
Yeah, for sure.
Bros, what about you?
Well, my hobby feeds into my goal, or my goal feeds into my hobby, vice versa. So I set a goal, New Year's resolution started this year, and that was to get a design a tracksuit, which feeds into my hobby, which is making cash. No,
Chasing
it's in all seriousness, it's semi-serious. But I love tracks. Like, I love music, and one of my hobbies is with one of my very close friends, Robbie Trimmer. Shouts out Trimboli, Mike Trimboli, Bobby Rims. It's to just go to record stores and just dig through crates and find tracks that we've never heard. And like, I'm on the way, what's the word? We're trying to push to move out at the moment. So I'm trying to like suss my cash reserves because I want to get some proper decks at home. Love mixing. So me and Robbie will have like
Mixing sessions.
yeah, like mixing sessions. Like, we'll just download a whole heap of tracks or whatever, purchased obviously, and then we'll
Support music. Support local industries.
support local. Nah, serious beat port. I'll throw down cash on that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you have to. And then you can just the download the shit. The shit quality. So not only support some of these guys aren't massive, you know. So you may as well just spend $1.80 on a track. Like, it's cheap as.
For sure.
So we'll do that, and literally once a month we'll just sit in his room, and it's like 5 hours. Like, we'll just be track after track, and it's that play thing. I feel like it's one of the only things outside of training, but even training you get distracted, where you get into like proper states of flow, and like, I don't dance that much, but far out, man. We just don't stop moving the entire time. You get into it, you have fun, and then when you have fun, it's like, oh my God, I could be playing out. I could go to Tomorrowland or whatever the festival of choice is, you know?
That's
So-
yeah, we used to do it with Paul. Paul would just set the decks up in his
Yeah.
backyard, invite 20 of us over, and because in that group there was like a handful of them all had DJing experience. They just rotate through, and again, it would go in any direction.
Oh.
It would go more trance focus, more techno focus, like what
It's
it's
the
just
best fun.
and it's just fun because it was just the boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good
just
fun.
the boy there's.
The boy there's.
And
Doing the
there's
boy
one
dance.
store. I mean, there's one guy, Ali Tunes in Hawthorne, and what did he call himself? Max Vegas. That's right, French guy. And he owns it. And every time I go there, I have the most fun. I remember there was one time. It was before my birthday. I had a bunch of cash. I'm going in there, but I had to go out to dinner. So I'd like swung through. I'm like, man, I've only got 20 minutes. I'm like, this is what I want. I want some like Nigerian boogie, like African disco, like it's just real soulful, whatever. I'm like, I want some soulful house, and I want this. This is how much I got to spend. I trust you. Like, just go sick, and he just goes whatever. Anyway, he's got decks set up at his counter, so he's like writing the stuff down. It's literally all old school as fuck. He just writes down on the receipt, and then as going through, like, he tells you the history of
That's
like a
mad.
track,
Just
and he'll
knows it
play
all.
it on, like mix it into the next one. It's like, this is a fucking experience. And he's like, this one right here has got like, you know, that dub groove. It's like, and then just whatever else. And he's just talking the entire time. Track's playing, it blasts it. There's other people in the store. It's so loud. And it's just like behind the counter, just losing the plot. I love that place. Anyway,
amazing.
that's between that and then mixing tracks. That's probably my main hobby outside of lifting.
I like it. I like it a lot. Alrighty, next question. Sydney listener here. What does Choco mean? Never heard of that up here.
You don't know. Come down to Melbourne, we'll show you.
Yeah, but I feel like the Sydney thing, the first time I heard it was from a Sydney television show,
What was that television show?
Fat Pizza.
Well, yeah.
Well, if you can't get it from that, then just
Watch Fat
connect the
Pizza.
dots.
Go watch Fat Pizza. That's your homework.
Homework, yeah.
If you've watched Fat Pizza and you can't really figure it out by the end,
You'll never know.
Come down to Melbourne, spend a week at Melbourne Strength Culture. We'll try and teach you.
And then if you do watch it, this is a big one. I think that people, they'll watch Fat Pizza and then they'll connect it to ethnicity.
Yeah.
It's not about ethnicity. All right. So
It's an attitude.
It's an attitude. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life.
Yeah.
So yeah, being a Choco is not. It's
Speak-
not just one nationality or a couple nationalities. So
Speaking of chocks, I found this really funny because Dean put it in our group chat after Kyrgios and Kokonakis won the tennis doubles. They're like, the chocks have done it. So those two are very chock. Even the way Nick Kyrgios speaks to the bro, like they got, you know, he's playing tennis with a dangling cross earring, like stuff like that. That's just, and then you obviously look at the other end of the court, Ebden and Purcell.
Not sure.
It's like
Not
It's like Jamie and Todd.
yeah, but Jamie's got Choco
I've got
qualities.
Choco qualities. 100%.
Yeah, no.
Very
So
light. I think he blends.
Yeah.
So when he's
Bit of a gecko.
when he's
Chameleon.
with us, he becomes one, and then he when he's with Todd,
yeah, but he does
more-
chock shit. Like, that's mad.
Like what?
Oh, I want to fucking take this business to the top. I want to buy a factory. Like, that to me is like, yeah, that's Choco. Yeah, that's
Fucking hell.
100%.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the clout thing. Like, yeah,
Clout.
I'm chasing clout, brother. And like,
chasing
bro,
clout.
it's in his bio. It's on the website. Thing.
Send
It's
your
just out
clout.
there.
Send your
I'm,
clout.
I'm not just there for cash, but fame too, you dogs. Like, it's just,
I
that's
think
Choco
also-
has.
Growing up in Oakley as well, just
Yeah,
it was
around
all that like. I don't know. You and I know what it was like. Just it was just you'd be in Oakley having a frappe. Someone drives their car past, revs it. Like it's just that life, that
The areas.
The
way of life.
attitude.
And you'll get that from Fat Pizza. Watch Fat Pizza.
Fat Pizza is a laugh.
Watch Fat Pizza.
I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a show.
It was one of those.
It's definitely a
It was
show.
one of those shows I had to watch in the front room and like have my hand on the control
Just in case.
just in
Yeah,
case
yeah,
mum
yeah.
walked past or whatever. Sometimes with the late night softcore porn on the French
SBS. Yeah, yeah,
on the subtitles.
Paulie. Sleek the Elite.
Yeah, that would sometimes be there as well. But yeah, do your homework, Ricardo. Sorry, mate, you got some homework. Bring us back next week. Maybe email either Bouz or Charles a 2 or 3 sentence paragraph of what a Choco is to you.
Yeah, but if you email me, I won't get back because I'm a Choco. So just text me, yeah.
Just text.
Or carry a pigeon.
Yeah. All right, the next one. What is your go-to high-calorie feed? Mine's easy.
Steak sangers.
Pizza.
And pizza.
I'll do it every day. So yeah. Look, if I want, no, because I'm like yes, like all right. So yeah, dirty.
Trying to say he's a heavy.
I'm a heavy.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But
yeah.
eating
And still 12%.
4,200 calories a moment. Still 12%.
Swinging
Surfing,
around.
everything, got it all. No. High calorie feed. Oh, like takeaway food. All right. Well, steaks. Last night. All right, last night I made a 1,200 calorie dinner. It was just the Veta high fiber pasta, chicken breast, olives, mushrooms, olive oil.
1,200
Man.
calories isn't high calorie.
Chicken breast is your go-to high-calorie meal.
So superstar.
Taco, yeah,
Well, that was 1,200 calories without even trying.
pizza would be $2.5 grand easy.
Easy.
Easy. 2 steak sangers. I think that's $2 grand plus.
I hate to say it, but I'm also pizza. Like, there's just no beating it.
I like pizza. You know what?
And I love shit pizza.
come and go.
I love shit pizza, yeah.
Shit pizza's mad. I love it sweaty, and I like just dripping. And then the hour and a half after, I'm like, I gotta have a shower. I hate everyone. Someone tries to touch me, like, get the fuck off me. Like,
I love KFC.
Best.
Yeah, I was going to say KFC. I'm a sucker for Macca's. I'm not going to lie.
I love
Huge
KFC.
Macca's fan.
I love it all.
I actually call Macca's the #1 restaurant in the world. I really do.
It probably is.
Before COVID, I would only eat in the restaurant. I would park my car and respect the chef is what I used to say. Respect the McDonald's chef. Eat it.
Respect the 15-year-old.
And I always would come back. If Nonna was making a pasta or whatever, you wouldn't just take it and then go eat the pasta in the car when you're driving. You sit down at the table and you eat the pasta the way Nonna made the pasta to be eaten. Same with Macca's, mate. Respect the chef. Go in, sit down, eat the
got no
burger
words.
the way it's to be.
Yeah, I've got nothing for it.
I want to add to that. I reckon one of my favorites. We used to do this a lot when it was just before when we first opened the gym. We used to do Friday night burgers.
Yeah.
We used to do it every week. We'd get burgers all the time. Burger,
More burgers.
massive burger, double stacked chips, and then to finish it off with a thick shake
You
or
gotta
a
have a thick
milkshake.
shake. Yeah, you gotta.
500-600 calorie, 700 calorie thick shake, mate. 3,000 calories. You feel like death, and you're on your ass.
Now
for
we're
5
talking, not your Veta pasta.
You
like
want
mushrooms and
high
shit like
fiber
that.
pasta
Far out.
and chicken breast.
That's why I clarified. That was just like a dinner. That's like a dinner option.
All right, you
Like,
misunderstood the question. It's
that's
all right.
like a
It's all
every
good.
day of the week dinner option.
Yeah.
That's like easy done.
Are you trying to flex on us? Like,
No.
you fat
If I
dogs.
want-
this is I eat.
All I eat is chicken
I'm
breast.
bulking and I still eat lean.
If I want 2,500 calories, there's options.
Yeah, there's options.
There's options. We're gonna do the 10,000 calories.
Yeah, we do have to. We do have to. That would
I reckon we'll be drinking some milk in between meals.
Oh, we'll be vomiting. That's what we'll be doing.
that'll
Milk
send
is,
it.
mate. You do not want me drinking milk,
Nah,
mate.
see,
No one,
I
no one's
can-
completing the challenges if I'm drinking milk.
I can stomach dairy. I could
Yeah.
put down milkshakes.
We'll
My
eat.
guts will be fine.
Dids and I are gonna eat, and then Big M.
Big time.
All right, next one.
Okay.
Oak, hungry, thirsty.
Next one. Let me find a good one in here. You boys got plans to open a second gym at any point?
No.
Yeah, I've actually thought more about this.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we
Pulling
go.
rank.
Fucking hell.
No, I've thought more about this. if we can't secure the factory next door at some point, and put that out to the universe.
The metaverse.
The metaverse.
They got
Sorry,
hard
mate,
NFTs,
fucking
bro.
tech.
Yeah.
Wheel and Dylan.
I think I'm going to put it out there. A secondary location that is just a gym. There's no offices. There's no nothing there. There's just a gym. Think of something like a Hammer House.
Yeah.
Around the corner, within striking distance, within 2 kilometers of here.
I reckon Charlie could sort it out though. Next door.
Yeah.
Make him an offer he can't refuse.
He knows the guy.
I've got the connections.
Got the connections.
Yeah.
But right now, not on the thing.
To go back to the chalk, that's a chalk move.
What?
Like sorting things out on your own.
I know a
Not
guy.
going through the legal. Like people that do that, chalk, that's chalk.
Crazy.
But yeah, second location.
It would not be a second gym if
Not
that's
as big as Hammer House. Are you thinking that big?
Yeah, 100%.
Big boy.
If we move the membership out of here, this becomes a private location. We can do whatever the hell we want here. And then we can create... So there wouldn't be 2 gyms. It's not like there would be Melbourne Strength Culture and then there's like fucking Clayton Strength Culture or whatever.
So just become like...
It would just move the gym portion.
And this becomes like Eugene Tiao's gym where it's
Just
his
becomes
gym.
a private... Literally it becomes a private thing. Because this will be the home base forever. But we will outgrow this, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Next door would be great.
Next door would be
open up.
the ideal.
So
Just punch a hole through the
just
middle.
quickly.
These are just the thoughts that I've been having in the last 3
So
months.
to elaborate on your thoughts.
Yeah.
We'd still do our coaching out of here.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever
Let's
we
knock
want.
the details out later. We can go to the specifics later.
I don't know.
At what time you have a meeting about that one?
Whatever we want.
Yeah, that's it.
What about international?
Nah.
Barley strength.
Speaking of
culture.
international, this is a good question. Is the IPF world still relevant in Australia? I personally don't think it's relevant
Anywhere.
Not that it's no. It's still something that you can definitely strive towards. I think it's within the value of the individual lifter. I think with what USAPL brought out, or maybe mainly Johnny Candido, and then how USAPL flagged this drug testing thing and this ideal world that the IPF is all being of the drug testing standard, and then all this data has now come out where it's like, well, hang on, maybe not. I think it does muddy the waters, and I think the future of international powerlifting, whether it's IPF, whether it's with what the USAPL want to create and these sort of like governing competitions, I think it's interesting, and I think there will be a transition. The same thing could be asked about the Olympics. Like, do you guys honestly think the Olympics is going to be what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago? I think the facade of the Olympics has been watered down a little bit, personally.
I think for specific sports it is, swimming and athletics, those like traditional sports, but are you saying it is in the pinnacle of the sport?
No, well, I don't know. Like that's the discussion as well,
Yeah.
because now like this whole Russian thing, they just ban a country because it's like state level drug
Doping.
like doping and stuff. Like it's an interesting time for that level of sport, because sport is so entwined. This is like Icarus. Sport is so entwined with political and geopolitical sort of. They're like moves by countries now to control sporting things, and like it's an interesting time for international sport in
Just
general.
legalize it.
Yeah, I actually
Vitamin S.
I support that.
Vitamin S.
Vitamin S.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the cool things about powerlifting. It's just like untested, tested, and if you're competing and tested on the gas,
You're an idiot.
You're a loser.
There's an avenue though. if
But
you
it's
wanna.
like the Olympics is like, there's so many on the gas and there's so many that aren't.
It's like, who is? It's like it's all like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. I think that's where powerlifting wins out for sure.
Yeah.
And at least why the tested stuff is like still booming.
Yeah.
Untested's booming.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I guess there is the potential for tested to like pick up again, and hopefully we do see that soon.
Even the Tour de France, they're all on. Yeah, they've all on
It's
it.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like
like it's,
heaps, yeah.
Icarus. If you haven't seen Icarus, watch Icarus. That is one of the most
The Tour de
hectic
France, they're
films,
all bloody-
docos ever.
I don't know if they're still like that, but
yeah, I don't,
No, 100% they are.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
The
them.
only thing is, I think with the Olympics,
Drugs are only getting better.
for sure, yeah. The thing with the Olympics. do you
I'm
know?
not on the gas.
Do you know?
I'm not on the gas.
I'm throwing some question
I've
marks.
heard.
I'm not
yeah.
on the gas.
I reckon when we run our first
Yeah, look at me,
USAPL
yeah.
comp,
Yeah.
We'll drug test Bouz.
test him.
Can't you tell?
Go test him.
We'll do out of com testing for Bouz.
6% shredded. 105.
I was gonna say the thing with the Olympics is, I think there's a very good chance it'll continue to go on as it does. It's just people will know, not everyone's natty. because there's not. What's the alternative? Like to set up another body that rivals the Olympics would be quite difficult. They're so just ingrained into government systems and the youth sport. Like
The issue is, like, it's not like they're not testing at the Olympic level. That's
no.
part.
I'm not saying that they're not testing, but I'm saying is like.
There'll always be problems.
But there'll always be problems.
yeah.
But I don't think the problems are big enough for someone else to come and be like, oh, well, this is the alternative.
Oh, for
but,
sure.
But maybe the answer isn't to
have an alternative.
Maybe the Olympics and what the Olympics were is not possible in today's society.
Maybe it loses a bit of its a bit of its prestige.
Because I'll be honest,
I still think it's gangster.
I still think it is for certain sports, as Charlie was saying.
Yeah.
But like we could discuss like all this like skateboarding coming in, BMX, rock climbing,
And they have, like,
what's actually the play here? Where are we going with
3-on-3
this?
basketball should not be a thing.
I reckon you
Why?
almost
What happened to
strip
court
it.
basketball?
What happened to just normal basketball? Like why
They've
can't
got
There's
both.
still-
But like,
still
why
in there.
3-on-3 basketball?
because the
street-
attention spans of the TikTokers, man, they
True.
just lose it.
Oh, these bloody Gen Zs.
They should have street brawling. That'd be mad.
You strip
Just
it
like
back
6-on-6 punch on.
just to the traditional.
Back to the traditional. See, I would, I don't know. I just
Because I
and
was
naked.
this
It's gonna be
year at the
naked again.
Because the host country gets. That's why they pick skateboarding and whatever and rock climbing.
breakdancing. I heard is in there now.
I'm sorry, dancing's not a sport. It's not.
Ooh,
It's not a
shots.
sport.
It's an art.
It's an art form. It's an art form.
Is bodybuilding a sport?
It's an
No,
art.
it's an art form. Bodybuilding is
art.
a beauty pageant for
Jack.
muscle. It's not a sport. I'm sorry.
It's a way of life.
Nah, there's
Bodybuilding. Wait, what were the words there? Pageant, beauty pageant,
pageant,
with muscle.
yeah.
I don't see how that could be offensive.
Okay, that's all
It's
right.
just
That's
an
all
art.
right.
It's,
We're
it's
moving
an
on.
art form.
We're moving on. It's an art form.
I feel like an art form
feel like
is
Yeah,
good.
So whoever
It's subjective.
answered that question,
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know. Crazy. If you boys were in the WWE, what would be your intro songs?
Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Big, heavy.
Aggressive man.
Yeah.
Strangers to stability.
Oh, Len Farkey.
Can you give us a little tune?
It's
How's
a
it go?
techno. It's a
Bam,
techno.
bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, that's very, very,
Another one, yeah.
very
that's the one.
Chalk song.
very chalk.
Every Chalk knows that song.
What would your name be, Charles? King Chalk?
Oh, it's King Chalk. King Chalk. I don't thought. Yeah.
It's the Texas rattlesnake.
It's so outlandish.
I don't, what are they? Yeah, Americans love it though.
Yeah, you call
Mate,
it
the world loves
The
it.
chock-a-block. That's your one.
Chock-a-block.
Knock that block off.
What would yours name be?
My name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
man.
song.
This is
Or
proper
song, or
on the
song.
spot. I don't know.
Bros.
I'm sorry, guys. Usually more.
Thanks, Jamie, for that one.
Yeah.
What would your entrance song be,
go to
Jamie?
Jamie.
My entrance song would be.
Like it would be Sweet Home Alabama. I don't know why, but I don't know. I feel like you just say some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then give us 5 fun facts about Alabama. Rattled off the top of his head.
I'm gonna go with Peace Train, and then
there you go. It's up there.
What are you doing?
It's up there.
Jamie?
That's your
And he'll
favorite track.
just walk out smiling like,
mate, the crowd would be swaying.
I don't know. I feel like I'll just tax Rey Mysterio's song.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
that one go.
yeah, that's it. Oh, I don't know.
Booyaka, booyaka, 619.
Nah, actually, I scrapped that back. Eddie Guerrero. I lie, I cheat, I steal. That's a very Choco track.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, cheating, stealing. What's going on? Do the homework and let us know what the go is there. How do you tackle the macro goals for someone that's not great at planning out their food?
Figure
All right.
four
Can
leg
we
lock.
repeat that, sorry?
Figure four.
Can we repeat that
The
one?
walls of Jericho. How do you tackle the macro goals for somebody who's not great at planning out their food?
Fifth agreement.
So the question would become, how can we break down goals? How some of these eating strategies that we're talking about with Jade and Redmond, like what are some of those like entry level steps that we can take?
He's very adherent though, so this wouldn't apply to him specifically. But for guys, you talk about it heaps.
Wait. Let's get a question. It's macro level.
So macro level.
But
Is that
macro
macro?
goals
Good at planning out
for
their
somebody
food.
who's not great at planning out their food. So I think the whole thing is like, if I've got this big, but I can't just Tupperware container my life away. Like I can't do those strategies.
Go to your local IGA, pick up a My Muscle Chef, because that's what I do. That's what I did for lunch today. My Muscle Chef. Picked it up, a couple bits of fruit, brought it here. We did that.
That's not sustainable.
It wasn't not sustainable.
Because it's a macro level goal. You can't just tell someone to just buy heaps of My Muscle Chef.
No, I'm not saying that, but
That's a last resort.
I'm
That's
saying
like
as
a convenience
I'm
thing.
busy, I didn't have time to prepare. You can go spend $15 at the supermarket and sort your food out very well
They don't
on a
mean
macro
macro.
level.
They mean macros, like carbs, fats, protein. Not like overall goal.
Just wait. We're really fumbling
Yeah,
this
we're
question
fumbling.
up.
'Cause the person's asking about organisation.
I'm changing the question. Somebody who struggles to plan their food out, what are some strategies they can do for long-term progress?
Okay,
All right, I got this.
All right. Well, fucking
I'm
show
going.
us.
I'm going, brother. I just haven't had my chance to shine yet. All right. All right. So, protein servings first. Bookend your day, and then pre and post workout. I think that's by far the easiest way to at least have that. And generally,
What's
with
a serving?
protein,
What's a serving?
it depends. It depends on the individual. All right, brother. So, if you're not tracking, probably just a palm-sized portion to 2 palm-sized portion, depending on your weight or size. If you're tracking calories, just break it up. If you've got 200 grams of protein, divide by 4 to 5. If you're having 4 proper meals and then a snack, there you go. There's your 5 servings. So I'd probably say they're the easiest two. Upon waking, before bed, pre and post workout.
I think
really
also
be-
maybe like controlling the breakfast or controlling that post, like that end of day, so it's the same every time. Being consistent with it is probably another easy.
sure.
That was my answer.
Your answer was my muscle shift.
No. My answer was that before Jamie told me it was macros.
Shut up, Charlie.
All right,
Continue,
so it's
Bouz.
Jamie's
We're
fault.
in Bouz's.
No,
and then
that
it's
was
also
my
your
answer.
fault.
That was my answer.
Don't have to be wrong, bro. It's fine.
I'm not.
Bouz, we're in your
You
classroom.
said it had to be macros. That's not macros.
Let's go, Bouz.
All right. So that would be it. By removing decision fatigue, like it's literally an autonomous decision. If you got the same brekkie and the same dinner for an extended period of time, or same before bed meal, you're going to make life a hell of a lot easier from a planning standpoint. Then just pick 1 to 2 meals. I think this is probably a big issue with, I don't know, right now it's like the aesthetic meal era. Like it's just, if you've got some fucking basic,
The clout meal.
the clout meal. Don't overcomplicate it and have 5 different protein serves, 5 different carb sources, and then a hectic salad for every day of the week. Like, pick 2 to 3, or 2. I would go 2 max. Personally, I think it's just much easier to have a whole heap of chicken cooked. That's me personally. Whatever lean protein source it is for you, a whole heap. Right now, for me, it makes sense to be rice and sweet potato for my carbohydrates, and then a big ass salad. So if I've got my bookended meals, so for me at the moment, it's like oats and a toasty for breakfast. I have the same thing every single day. Pre-bed can be some protein and then some fruit mixed into a shake. At least I know that my 2 meals throughout the day are going to be chicken and rice or chicken and sweet potato with a monster salad. So just by way of division, it is what it is and it's sorted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like it. And I think piggybacking off Charlie's original, like the convenience of like a My Muscle Chef or those sort of things, having or even discussing some strategies with your coach. What?
You just ripped my muscle chef, and now you're saying it's good.
No, I'm piggybacking off the side of it. Charles, you got a fucking chip on your shoulder or something. What's going on here, man?
Crack a week.
Charles, mate. Charles.
Still down.
I'm actually adding to it. I'm saying finding some convenient strategies that when you don't have those options available to you can be really useful. I.e., Charlie's My Muscle Chef.
For sure, like-
finding a fast food option somewhere that if you're like we have like guys that work in offices that are moving around a lot throughout the day and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes on the road you have to have strategies. What can I get from Subway that it actually isn't just going to kill me with 1,200 calories in one meal? Like,
What I would say to add to Bouz's is I think even simplifying it further, it's having a routine. So what Bouz said there was pretty much what he eats is the same every day. He does this for breakfast. He knows his lunch is going to be this. And I do the same thing. I know I'm bulking at the moment on a high calorie food instead of like, because I found when I was like trying to play Tetris with my macros, it stresses me out. So I have my smoothie, which is 12 to 1,400 calories there. I have my lunch again with high protein, another 100 carbs there, same dinner, blah, blah. And then I lit on my liquid carbs throughout the day. And then I hit my 600 carbs like that. And I found this is the easiest time it's ever been to do it because I'm in a routine. And it's just the same sort of structure every single day.
Yep.
And then obviously you're littering, you're eating out and stuff whenever.
Also, not an actual like strategy. Like I'll just tell you what I do because I find it really, really easy. I sometimes really can't be stuffed Tupperwaring all my meals, so I just bring all my food to the gym. Like it's literally 1 container of chicken, 1 container of rice, and then my salad, and then I just portion out based off what my macros are.
Yep.
Yeah, you bring a big. I've seen you do a big one. I have done that before too. Just all of it, and then just.
I don't know,
split into two.
in a normal workplace though, I reckon someone like a Mahindu might eat that. He sees that in the fridge at the hospital.
Does that
Like,
actually happen?
See you later, mate. I'm stealing that chicken.
Does that happen?
We'll label your shit.
That happens in. You see
Hindu
it-
would eat it. Hindu drinks bloody drinks in the hospitals and stuff.
Well, he's a
Mate,
dog.
No, but like
will happen.
I see in sitcoms and stuff, people like joke about that. Ate my.
I think it
lunch
would
and
happen,
stuff.
man.
Does that actually happen? You
think-
bring
you know
a
how we're-
Tupperware. It's your Tupperware, and someone
Wait,
eats it.
You know how we're protected on the gym? Like we don't really see a lot of the just the trash that happens in gyms, in like commercial gyms. I feel like from an office perspective as well, we don't really experience a whole lot of that. Like,
Because if
Like,
you're in some massive,
if you imagine if you hated your
organisation-
job, imagine if you were going to
being that
work
guy.
and you hated your job, and you get there and you're like, "Fuck, I hate my job," and there's someone's chocolate milk there. You wouldn't just be like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna drink that chocolate milk, get some dopamine, and
I don't know
continue
if
my
I
day."
would.
I really don't know if I would.
I don't think I would.
I definitely
It's,
wouldn't.
it's stealing.
I
At the end of the day,
If
it's stealing
someone
someone.
bought
I'll
that
put-
food.
All right, I'll put my hand up. I've never been in this situation, but I feel like if I hated my job and hated the people I work with, I'd probably just start drinking their stuff from the
respect
fridge.
the honesty.
And I would like to know if have you done the same? Keep it anonymous. Have you done the same in your workplace, or you know anyone that has done it?
So it's like someone just
chocolate milk out of spite.
my muscle chef that's in there now that I'm going to eat later.
Have you-
Someone
mate,
just goes and
Nippy's-
eats that.
Nippies is high quality, man. Nippies is fucking.
Bouz is gonna go
high
eat
ticket
it, yeah.
item.
Well, now that you've highlighted that you got a My Master Chef meal, and that's apparently the
Watch
reason why
out.
you hit your calories, I'm gonna go eat it.
No, it's
just
not
sabotage.
That's
for
just
the
a
day.
convenient.
I was joking.
I've just found Tuesday and Friday having my muscle chef on those 2 days just works well for me because I just can't be bothered cooking. As
He's
simple
trying
as
to
that.
get- Trying to get the plug.
No, yeah, my muscle chef. We spoke get some meals here. Sponsor for the podcast.
They help. They definitely help.
I still don't think if I hated my job, I would eat someone else's food. They bought that food. They made that food. Like they bought it with their own money. Like
Well, I don't
It's
know.
stealing.
There's
You're a
couple
better man than
There's
Jamie
a couple
Smith.
variables. Is the person a piece of shit? If they're a piece of shit and they've like intentionally tried to cross me on more than one occasion,
And they got a chucky milk.
and they got a chocky milk, and maybe like a couple because microwaved or like cold pizza, you re-microwave it. If they've brought pizza, I'm taxing it. Like seriously,
Every man has a price.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it.
All right, well,
I
we
think on
wanna
any
know.
level, it's stealing.
We want to know, and if you're still listening, because we see the metrics, about 45 minutes in, 30% is probably ticked off by now. If you're in this last 70%, first give us 5 stars, give us like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But let us know if you work in one of these big organizations, what it's like. What is it? A fucking Wild West out there in the chocky milk world?
Honestly, that's like I forget it's a communal fridge, but it's like walking up to someone's gym bag and just taking a protein bar out of their bag. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna eat this.
We'll see what
It's
happens.
the same thing.
All right.
It's just in the fridge.
All right, we're gonna find out. We'll find out. Next one. Well, because we were so good with that one, that was actually like a really good piece of content, topic content. What's some things you guys always do to gauge where your new clients are at? So I think we can keep this like open-ended, but maybe like what are some things that you might want to keep in consideration when starting newer clients out, or if you're starting with a coach or whatever, what are some things?
Well, conversation is very easy. So either on the phone, have a simple conversation, ask how long they've been trained for. They obviously fill that out in our membership questionnaire. And then the initial, if they're in Melbourne, we do the initial one-on-one.
Yeah, I think like a training history check. So
Yeah.
like your current program is probably some
Yeah.
important data to sort of get. Or if you haven't been training, that's still important. We understand like volume and load is really important for progression. Where they're currently at will dictate where we can potentially go forward from there. So looking at training history, like injury history and all that sort of stuff for sure. What about from like let's keep it on a nutritional strategy. What sort of things would we be looking at there?
So an easy one that we use with pretty much everyone is just a food diary, because it's just the most objective way to get a picture of how people's eating is, not just the foods they're eating, but the structure, the regularity day to day, how they're spacing things out. It just gives us a snapshot. So definitely the easiest way we can see where they're at, and then from there start to make some recommendations and make some changes, and just know the overall quality of their eating, their nutritional literacy, we'd say. Like, do they consistently eat X amount of servings of protein? Do they eat plants consistently every day? Do they have regular meals? Or are they not eating all day and then binging in the evenings? That type of stuff.
And piggybacking off something you said earlier, with maybe we take it for granted how well we sort of understand calories and macros. Even just understanding some of those terms, like energy expenditure. Are you aware of energy expenditure? Are you aware of what a calorie is, calorie surplus, calorie deficit? Sometimes these these things are thrown around in social media, and it can very easily just sort of, if you're not aware of what's going on, you sort of get lost and a little bit sort of down on yourself, like, oh, I actually don't even know what's going on here. Like, I'm lost in the weeds here completely. So just getting yourself acquainted with those terms and what they mean, and maybe some of the very basic science that underpins those sort of conversations and why they are so important. Understanding protein, carbs, fats, understanding how alcohol sort of contributes to that sort of equation and things like that.
An interesting thing to note is even if you don't track your calories, having an understanding of all these terms is still useful. If you look at a meal and you can work out roughly, is this a higher protein meal? Is it a lower protein meal? What's the ratio of carbs to fats? You don't have to know exactly, but if you can kind of look at a meal and say, okay, that's a pretty low fat meal, that's useful information for you to have. And on top of that, just learning to read the back of packets, even if you're not going to go in and track the calories, if you can look at two options that are similar and see that one is a lot lower fat, and for in the context of what you're trying to do, that makes sense, that's a good tool to have up your sleeve versus just chucking things down and not knowing the kind of split of it essentially. Yeah.
Yep. Anything else?
I think the big one, and
standpoint.
Bouz sort of alluded it to before, but knowing how to construct a plate as well, food, and knowing how to add protein, and because even like people's dinners, you get them to record and there's like no protein in their dinner. Yeah. And I think that's something, again, we just take it for granted because it's like being in the gym for so long, we just add a bit of protein to your meals, to every meal. Like that's just, we've always done it. So yeah, those basic things that.
Yeah. And I think if you're not going to know what constitutes energy density of each macro, and then I would say, like, if you're going to pick two things, that for sure, because it's crazy how many people don't know that a fat calorie is more dense. Sorry, a gram of fat is more dense than a gram of protein or carbs. And then with that information, that informs the reading of nutritional labels. So it's like, if you can understand that and then how to read a nutritional label, like per serve, this is what's what, without tracking, you're going to be able to understand that, okay, if I eat a lot of fat, I'm probably going to have a harder time if I'm eating a lot of carbs as well with a lot of protein. Yep. So something's got to give there. And I think that, if you're going to look at two things, that would be the easiest two things straight off the bat. So if we're onboarding a new client and they don't understand those things, that would probably be my first two.
Some of the low-hanging pieces. Some of the key dominoes in understanding how to make some of those initial gains. The other one there would be hire a coach. It always comes back to it, but finding a coach that can actually help you, guide you through those processes is really, really important and will set you up for success. 100%.
Joey's in game. Give him a shout. He thanked me for a shout out, so I'll give him another shout out for Joey because he's a weapon.
What is it?
He helped me in the early days back. He did it free of charge. Just helped me out. Yeah, as a coach to coach.
He's a weapon.
Taught me a lot, and then obviously we've learnt more along our journey. But yeah, having those basic understandings of nutrition does help your training a lot.
100%. All right, last one. Go-to snacks.
No, we'll do another one. We've
done
a
enough
high-calorie
enough about food.
All right, enough about food. Ethan Fleming, is Jamie B stressing about the fight?
Fuck no. Ethan Fleming.
Ethan Fleming called Bouz out.
They called me out, but he also texted me this morning. He goes, I did 30-meter sprints for an hour and a half last night. My back's fucked.
What are you doing, man?
I told him. The text message after, hey, bro, can I do 30-meter sprints in this? I said no. And then I get a text message this morning saying my back's fucked. I'm like, did you do it before I said no? After I said no. Is it before? So if 30-meter sprints is enough to fuck Ethan Fleming, what do you think I'm going to do to you?
Call him out. All right, fine. Last one. Best gym shoe. What do we got? TNs.
Oh, nah. The issue with the TN is it's got a raised heel. So I feel like for a lot of the gym lifts that we
and it's got a
here,
fucking pillow under there, mate.
Yeah, well, they're great for kicking dogs in the head, but they're not great for doing most gym lifts. I like a Chucky T.
Chucky Taylor?
Yeah, Chuck Taylor.
All-star?
I don't think it goes wrong.
I'm big on just no shoes.
No shoes. Vibrams, how'd they go? Did you keep them on? Did you keep them?
I loved the Vibrams, but it's really hard to put Vibrams on when you've got one hand. So they've taken, we've hung them up for a few weeks, but don't worry, the Vibrams will be making a return.
Crazy.
Yeah, God's shoe.
I just wear whatever shoe I'm wearing on the day. Charles?
God's shoe.
God's shoe.
Birthday suit
Barefoot.
shoe. Barefoot. I can't. We're obviously lucky enough because we can. I know a lot of commercial gyms not allowed to be barefoot because you could be special and drop a plate on your foot. But we're allowed to here. So I pretty much I come to work in my Birkenstocks and I just walk around barefoot.
Yeah.
I love it.
Crazy.
Went to the supermarket barefoot the other day.
See, I wouldn't do that.
Chat.
I love being
That's
barefoot.
disgusting,
Yeah.
Charles.
Anyone who
got
walks
the
to a
approval
supermarket,
I got the approval from all the boys in the gym. It was Friday. I didn't have. It was hot. It was a few Fridays ago. I had to go get my muscle chef.
Just came in off the surf, put the board away,
And I
running up
asked
the beach.
Chuckers
I
Charles.
asked the boys. It was Litho, like LaGreca, who else, and I was like, "Do you reckon?" And Jay Stupas. I was like, "Do you reckon it's fucked if I go
Yeah,
to the
but
super-"
Litho and Jay Stupas are always barefoot as
Yeah, I
well.
know.
So that you asked a group of guys that were always going to see
It was
up
maybe,
at the
subconsciously I asked them because I
you
knew
knew
they were
they
going to
were
say
gonna
it.
Yeah.
But I asked them, and they're like, "Yeah, fucking oath." They're like, "Go for it." I was like, "I'm done," because I was feeling a bit like, "Oh, it's a bit chat." But
Do what you
anyway.
want. I started pedicuring my feet. My New Year's resolution, I've hit 2. So if I was to go barefoot to the supermarket, I'd be doing everyone a favour. I'd be like,
Yeah,
this guy's
with those
foot.
feet.
He's a cracker.
But yeah, barefoot.
Barefoot at the supermarket. Let us know your thoughts. That's it for this episode. This is number 9. We've got a few guests lined up coming up next week. King Woodford is in
The GOAT.
house. The goat. The following week we have a special sportsman in Australia. We're looking forward to opening up some good conversation with him. So the next 2 weeks will be guests. Anything else you boys want to say before this gets wrapped up?
I'm going to say I started with my shorts below the knee. They've organically made their way a bit higher, but hopefully for a solid duration of the podcast, there wasn't too much nut on display.
I'm
That's
gonna
right.
say, yeah, I made a conscious effort for no nuts today. I was at long shorts, knees were pointed that way, cameras here.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Yeah, I was sitting off centre. and then
I
across
thought the last couple of weeks I was very conscious of my nuts.
Yeah, I must admit,
I think it was early.
The nut heat's been on Didier lately. You in the first 4 or 5
Yeah.
eps were copping it.
I was gonna say the last few episodes
No,
have
no.
been definitely good.
I agree. You've taken on the feedback and you've
First 3 probably sat, man spreading a bit.
manscaping. No,
Didier's
yeah.
full frontal.
Didier doesn't care.
I was almost, I don't know.
Didier's world. We're all just living in it.
That's it.
Just turn the chair a little bit.
Alrighty, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you very much. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. 5 stars on Spotify. Help us more than you think. And we will see you next week.
Ciao.
Bye.